رمضان 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 فرصة عمر.
God exists without a doubt. Let's tell a story. Say you have a young guy named Bill. Bill is an atheist. Bill doesn't believe in God. Bill goes to work and comes home, goes to the gym and sees his friends, eats food and breathes air, and yet he refuses to admit that he is created and that his life is under the control of a creator. Then one day, as Bill is driving on the highway, an 18-wheeler swerves in front of him and he loses control, and his car begins to flip, and he starts to think to himself, this may be it, I may die now. What do you think Bill will most likely say? Most likely in such a situation, he would say, "Oh God," or "God help me," or "Oh God, no. Why?" In this hypothetical scenario, Bill is a self-proclaimed atheist, but despite that, it is natural for the human to admit that there must be a God. Even a child will tell you that every building needs a builder, and every book needs a writer. If you told an atheist, this book just appeared, no one wrote it, they would respond to you by saying that's ridiculous. It has to have a writer. If you told them this building just appeared, no one built it, they would say, that's ridiculous, it must have a builder. We Muslims would say to them, then how is it acceptable to you that this entire universe and what is in it just appeared without a creator? The sound rational mind dictates that there must be a creator, because everything that has a beginning must be created. And since that which has a beginning is a creation, then this creator must not have a beginning. He must be eternal. Otherwise, he would be a creation. If you ponder about the creations around you and their wondrous nature, the leaves on the trees which bud and grow, then change to beautiful colors and fall, the ocean with its vast expanse and depth, all of which is divisible into small drops of water, uncountable by the human, the sun and the moon which rise and set every day, the same way, year in and year out, the clouds that form in the sky and then disappear, the fetus that forms in the womb from a drop of fluid, which then grows into a human who walks and talks and eats and breathes and builds and destroys and forms bonds and fights and conquers, only to be conquered eventually by death, from which he has no escape, regardless of status or wealth or piety. If you ponder about all of these things and more, you realize the great power of the one who controls it all and created it all from nothing and destroys it all whenever he wills. And you should come to the realization that he and only he truly deserves to be worshipped. The Quran and the Hadith are filled with this type of reasoning. Allah said in the Quran, أَوَلَمْ يَنظُرُوا فِي مَلَكُوتِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ وَأَنْ عَسَىٰ أَنْ يَكُونَ قَدِ اقْتَرَبَ أَجَلُهُمْ فَبِأَيِّ حَدِيثٍ بَعْدَهُ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Which means, have they not reflected on the great dominion of Allah in the skies and the earth, and what He has created, and that their deaths may be near? In what message after this Quran would they believe? Allah also said in the Quran, وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ الرَّحْمَنُ الرَّحِيمُ إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ وَالْفُلْكِ الَّتِي تَجْرِي فِي الْبَحْرِ بما ينفع الناس وما أنزل الله من السماء من ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وبث فيها من كل دابة وتصريف الرياح والسحاب المسخر بين السماء والأرض لآيات لقوم يعقلون. Which means your God is only one. There is no God but Him, the Merciful. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, the alternation of the nights and the days, the ships that sail the sea for the benefit of humans, the rain sent down by Allah from the sky, reviving the earth after its death, and the scattering of all kinds of creatures throughout, the shifting of the winds and the clouds held between the heavens and the earth, are surely signs for people of understanding. And there are many other verses in the Quran which show that the belief in God is rational, and that believing in the messengers sent by God to tell us about His commands and warn us about the Day of Judgment is rational, and that the human should use his mind to ponder and understand because the message of the prophets is rational. It agrees with what the sound mind dictates and does not contradict it. Now, do not think that the misguidance of atheism is something new, or that the reluctance to believe in a hereafter that we find in many people today is something new. There were people at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam who didn't want to believe in God and in His commands and in accountability and paradise and hellfire and resurrection and the Day of Judgment. Allah Ta'ala revealed the response to such people in the Quran in simple terms. If you can know deep down inside of yourself that there must be a creator for the creation around you, then you should have no problem believing in resurrection after death. Allah said in the Quran, وَضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ قَالَ مَنْ يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي أَنْشَأَهَا أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بَلَى وَهُوَ الْخَلَّاقُ الْعَلِيمُ. Which means, He said, who will give life to decayed bones? Say, they will be revived by the one who created them the first time, and He is knowledgeable about all creations. The one who gave you fire from green trees, and behold, you kindle from them. Can the one who created the heavens and the earth not resurrect them? Yes, He can, for He is the Master Creator, all-knowing. Allah also said in the Quran, وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُهُ وَهُوَ أَهْوَنُ عَلَيْهِ. Which means, He is the one who originates the creations, then will resurrect them, and that is easier. Meaning, by our measurement, resurrecting something and recreating something that was already once in existence is easier than creating it from nothing. Although to Allah, all creating is easy. Nothing is hard for Him, the All-Powerful. And Allah also said, أَفَعَيِّنَا بِالْخَلْقِ الْأَوَّلِ بَلْ هُمْ فِي لَبْسٍ مِّنْ خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. Were we incapable of creating them the first time? And they doubt about creating anew. If you are faced with questions about creation and God, posed by atheists or others, Do not get nervous. Do not doubt. The answers are in the religion of Al-Islam, in the Quran, in the Hadith, in the books of the scholars. Don't think that the Muslims who came before us were not posed with the same questions, or that they knew nothing of people with other beliefs. They did know of these things, and they were asked. And among them, from the time of the Salaf, the early generations, to the Khalaf, the later generations, were those who knew the answers and how to deal with such things. This is not something new. I'll finish by telling you another story, one that actually happened. It is said that Abu Hanifa, the great Imam, was once challenged by an atheist to a debate. So he told the atheist to meet him on the banks of the Tigris River. People gathered to watch, even the caliph of the time, the Khalifa, was there. And the atheist showed up at the appointed time, and they began to wait. Time passed, and Abu Hanifa did not arrive, and people began to get restless. And eventually, so much time passed that the atheist began boasting, saying, "Look, your scholar has run away and has not shown up to debate me." But at last, Abu Hanifa finally arrived. He told the atheist, "My house is on the other side of the river, and I could not find any boat to carry me across." Then, as I was waiting, wood appeared in front of me and began to gather by itself. Then a hammer and nails appeared and began pounding themselves by themselves until finally a boat was formed right in front of me with no builder. So I rowed it across the river and arrived here. The atheist then laughed at him and said to the crowd, "It seems that your scholar has gone mad." Abu Hanifa replied to him by saying, "If you cannot accept that a boat was built with no builder, then why is it that you accept that this universe and everything in it appeared without a creator?" And with that, the debate was over. Abu Hanifa won. Islam makes sense. Islam holds the truth. So, accept the truth. Remain steadfast and do not stray. Rely on Allah, and Allah Ta'ala knows best.